WNIR, hello.
Can you hear me now?
I can. Snowman, how you holding up, brother?
Not bad. On my way to Fort Stewart, 20 miles, picking up a couple armored Humvees and take them out to Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Where's Fort Stewart? What state? I don't know that one.
Georgia.
Ah, Fort Stewart, named after which Stewart? Jimmy Stewart? Ma, don't you know me? I'm your son.
Who knows? Reason I called is because the Republicans that are in power in D.C. are worthless because they're not being vocal and throwing their weight behind Donald Trump. Nikki Haley is dumber than a box of rocks. How she became governor is beyond me. Other than some people think she's giddity, I think she's ugly. Not my type. I think it's a joke. This whole election process is a joke.
Well, I just said, it seems to me, I mean, if you watched Trump last night, he had the governor from North Dakota, Tim Scott, Vivek, the Buckeye, Vivek Ramaswamy. They were all hooping and hollering for Trump, and even Ted Cruz and DeSantis. Trump and DeSantis have mended fences. He's like, he did a good job running a good campaign, did the Florida governor, and we welcome his support. Ted Cruz. What do you mean the Republic? You're talking about Jim George. Be more specific.
I'm talking about the rest of them should have been behind him the whole time. He never even had to go into a debate. This is our man. This is the guy that got it done for 4 years while he was fighting the Democrats. They never should have threw their weight behind anybody else but him. It's a joke. That's what I mean. It's a joke. Why would you do that? Why is Nikki Haley even still out there?
Koch brothers money. She's getting deep money. Trump called her a globalist yesterday. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's where I was going with this. It's all about the damn money. I mean, that's
well, like I said earlier, I think this op-ed, I had this op-ed during Christmas when I was off on vacation. And I, you know me, I can't shut down. I'm always got my ear to the, what's going on. You know what I mean? Especially when it's a political year. But the federal government was meant to be weak. They didn't want a federal bank. They didn't want our founding fathers. They wanted this. Any power that the federal government has comes from the states. And is the pendulum swinging on that a little bit?
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, look at what DeWine did. Oh, you can go ahead and compete, little trans boys. That I don't think that's been overturned yet. I know it can be, but he's not a Republican. He's not a conservative. He's not a rational thinking man to do that. And when you read any response, well, it's complicated. No, it ain't. You just don't let boys compete with girls because they think they're a girl. It just as simple as that. There's no other reason.
Well, all right, let's review, okay, on our rhino governor of Ohio. Example. COVID, Trump comes to Cleveland. I went to one rally. I went to the one, had a press pass to go to the IX Center. I think on the Ides of March, remember? It was March 15th.
Yeah.
And he was going to the Maytag washing machine out somewhere by Defiance, out there in the Firelands, remember?
Yep.
And who got COVID but Governor DeWine? Oh, I'd like to go with President Trump and go out there, but I can't. I have COVID. 8 hours later, he miraculously said it was a false positive. DeWine used COVID to say, I can't go. And he didn't want to be seen with Trump, right?
Yep.
There's your example. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, my phone was blowing up. Fort Stewart is named for Brigadier General Daniel Stewart, a Revolutionary War hero from Liberty County, Georgia.
I'm on the base 19 miles from where I got to check in. That's how big it is.
Holy mackerel.
I've gone by, I'm going by right now. There are, holy moly, probably 120 tanks, maybe more right there. This is a big deal, these bases.
Let me see here.
They wish me luck, too, because, I got to prove who I am. And I don't look the same, so I wonder if facial recognition is going to actually recognize me.
How's
I'm all right.
if somebody lost some weight and they're kind of getting, they look different than they did, 2 years ago. Don't they use retina scans or anything like that?
Well, I weigh 215 to 220, and I'm 145 to 150. I don't look anything like I used to. I'm a shell of a man physically.
Yeah.
And so we'll see.
How do you pronounce the Canoochee River?
Oh,
Fort Stewart is located along the Canooche River. I don't know the Canoochee. It's the 3rd Infantry Division.
Huge.
1st Armored Brigade Combat Team, 2nd Armored Brigade, 3 Division. Oh, it is huge. Anti-Aircraft Artillery Center, POW camp in 1943 for German and Italian prisoners of war. I didn't know. I don't think I've ever heard of Camp Stewart.
Fort Stewart, I've been wanting to go to since I leased on with this company back in 19, and finally got to go here because I was in Statesboro, only 50
Well, don't you have that ID? Your ID, your get out of jail?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got all that. I got a pass card. I got a TWIC card. I got everything that I need. I got all verifications. I own everything. Got all registrations. But still, when they scan me with that Walmart scanner, I'm just curious if it's going to recognize me, and I'll let y'all know tomorrow.
Okay. Vietnam War. During the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Cold War, Fort Stewart was an active training role during the 60s because it's vegetation and it was about the closest U.S. Army base they had to maybe fighting in the Vietnam jungles.
I can believe that.
Really? Wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can see through the tree line here the tank, I guess you'd call it a little course that they have, because there's tanks over there.
You mean the battery-operated tanks that Biden wants?
Oh, no. Yeah. I'm sure that's going over well. And then to my right, it does look like if you were watching a Vietnam movie.
Oh, my.
It looks jungle. I mean, all these bases are fascinating to me to begin with, just to be able to get to go on them. And but an active base like this, just like Polk used to be, every time I went to Polk, they were doing something.
Mm-hmm.
They're always doing something here, especially in these times that we live in. So, yeah, it's just pretty cool to be able to.
As of the 2020 census, there were 4,924 people living on the base. That's half the size of Dover, Ohio. 5 grand. That's huge. Wow.
Yeah, as Trump would say, huge. And
it's huge. It's going to be huge.
My whole point was it just Nikki Haley and the rest of them, I know they did it for money.
Well, all right, let's walk through that for 30 seconds, okay? I said at Christmas time, DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Vivek, the people that were at the kids' table debating without Trump, I said they're all shining their star for 2028. And they even said so last night on Fox. One of the, maybe the Hannity, they played the audio live with Trump in New Hampshire rallying the troops up there. And they even, whatever the young lady is, the young blonde, I just drew a blank on her name, doesn't matter. She said, DeSantis, it's not out of the possibility that DeSantis could be Trump's vice president and shine his star for 2028. Now, Nikki might be gaming to get her United Nations ambassador post back. Do you think she'd want to be in the Trump cabinet issue again? I don't know.
She's a yes person. She's always going to be a yes person. But when it comes down to any kind of critical answer to anything, holy crap, they are a marching.
All right, well, call me tomorrow. Let me know if you don't get arrested. The military police will come and lock you up in the Husco.
Yeah, and the first place you'll see it is off of Daily Mail.
Okay,
so make sure you check it.
All right, brother. Take care. Bye. All right, take 2. You're on the air, WNIR. What's up, Snowman?
Well, update for yesterday over there at where I loaded at in Georgia, Fort Stewart.
Yeah.
there were over 100 commercial vehicles being loaded for various points domestically. Over 100. Taking things of all shapes, sizes, lockers, tanks, you name it. I got 2 armored Humvees on, headed to Las Cruces, New Mexico. Tell old-timer, they got a golf course, but you got to dodge the tank shells, just so he knows. If he ever wants
That's
to
like golfing with me. 4. Come on, move. Get going, old person. I got to go.
I missed the first hour, but I caught everybody on the second hour. And it doesn't matter who Donald Trump picks, because we are all voting for him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think
his running mate.
It might, I don't think it. I agree with you. People are saying he's got to have Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Nikki Haley, Biden Jr., Ivanka. I mean, be honest. Did anybody know who Mike Pence was here in Ohio, even though he was the governor of our nation? Maybe some people out in the Firelands on the west side of Ohio might have known because they neighbor with him, but we didn't know who Mike Pence was. He didn't move the needle.
Yeah, he didn't. He did not garner a vote because he had Mike Pence as his running mate.
Right.
It doesn't matter. We're going to vote for Trump. We've seen what he was able to accomplish battling the Democrats every day. So, I mean, we're voting for him. We're not voting for anything else. All the touchy-feely stuff is going to be all the time. And Nikki Haley, her saying, all the chaos in Trump's administration and all the chaos in Biden's administration. She go to hell. Just get the hell out of there, because all you're doing is getting money. You're a nobody. You don't know anything. You're pretty dumb when you're asked a question. When you're straight on, you're no Donald Trump. Just put your efforts behind the person that can actually change.
Which is what Ronna McDaniel said last night to RNC. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, it's insane that her handlers have her still campaigning.
Are you in a state that doesn't have income tax in Arkansas, or you don't call Ohio home anymore, right?
No, I do. That's my home domain, Ohio.
Okay. All right. Would you support Ohio eliminating the income tax here in Ohio? They want to phase it out. They're talking about it in Columbus.
I wish they would. I'm all for the sales tax, because here's why. The bigger and more expensive items you buy, you're paying your tax. That equals the playing field. So if a guy's making $25 an hour, he's going to spend his money on that stuff. He's getting equally taxed as a guy that's spending $500,000 for an airplane, right? I think income tax is bull to begin with, especially the way that it is set up federally. I'm self-employed and have been since 1994. With that being said, I know that friends of mine that have worked at the mills, 33% has been taken out of their check each week, for state and local and federal and FICA, everything, a third of their money. And that's absolutely insane, because the government gets it for free, and some get money back, but they don't get anything with it. There's no interest. There's no nothing. That's wrong. I think that's a load of crap. That's exploitation of the worker on the government doing it. I've always said that. One of the reasons why I went self-employed, created 2 different businesses. Because you're not going to get it, because everything's a write-off. I mean, it literally is.
Ohioans earning up to $100,000 per year currently pay 2.75%. Everyone else above that is 3.5%. Those who make less than $26,050 a year pay no state of Ohio income tax. And the goal by State Senator George Lang of Westchester, Republican, and others, they want Ohio to be the most business-friendly state in the nation and to financially dominate the rest of the country. I mean, look, California, New York, I mean, there are a lot of big techs Some of the critics say, you know what, we don't want these people from outside Ohio moving in here. I don't know if that's true or not, but...
See, they need to, and I've brought this up before, and we've had callers argue with me, earned income credit means you're low income. Every dime they take out of you, they give back to you plus extra.
Mm-hmm.
And that's coming out of our money. Earned income credit needs to go away. But will they? Oh, no. How are they going to now with all the illegals here? That they want them, automatically give them something so they can say, you're a citizen, you're a citizen. You can be a cop, you can be a fireman, you can do this, you can do that. I don't get it. We need Trump more than ever now, just because of the business sense that he has. I still don't understand the lawsuit, with over evaluating his property when he paid it back. Who's the victim?
Yeah, there is no victim. He paid the loan back. Right. Mm-hmm.
Paid the loan back, paid it on time. I fail to see where there's a victim. Yet they still go after him.
If passed, Ohio would join the ranks of 9 other states, primarily Florida, Nevada, and Texas, but there would be 6 others that do not have income taxes. Those states rely heavily, as you said, on sales tax to bring in revenue. People that are here illegally, people that are traveling to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Cedar Point, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, come into Browns games, Bengals games, Ohio State game, whatever. Everybody, a sales tax brings in revenue. And they believe it would receive additional boosts from gaming, tourism, and oil. Ohio currently gets around $13 billion a year, about $1 billion a month from sales tax. If they increase that sales tax 1%, that could almost make up the $10 billion a year they get from the income tax. So backers say Ohioans would be more likely to spend money if there's no income tax.
Sure they are. I mean, even when you're self-employed, you got to figure out how's it going to change this year.
Well, this is the other thing. The CAT, the commercial activity tax, you wouldn't really be under that CAT, right?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, that brought in $2.5 billion in 2022. And the 2-year budget eliminated the CAT for most businesses that pay it, leaving only those with taxable receipts over $3 million on the hook. So they would gradually do this over the next 6 years by 2030. So anything else, Snowman?
Nope. Great
All right, brother, take care. I'll see you. Be careful.
Flooded basement, pipes burst.
Good morning. You're on the air, WNIR.
Good morning. The reason I'm calling is Ohio, the National Guard is not the militia. In Ohio, you actually have a militia that is 18 and over, and they train at Camp Perry. And the person that directs everything that they do is the governor. It's totally separate from the National Guard. And most states, I can't remember how many, it's doing this all from memory, Couch. But I looked it up a couple years ago, and I went, holy cow, I didn't know that existed.
Well,
but there's actually an organized...
Right, yeah. We talked about this in summer of 2020 when they were tearing and burning up cities, and Trump wanted to send in the National Guard into a state. Minnesota wouldn't allow it. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm asking, in your opinion, consider this. You could have U.S. military, commander-in-chief is Joe Biden, versus the Texas militia or National Guard.
Well, I'll tell you,
they would never. Americans would never shoot at one another, would they?
Oh, I think all them. I mean, here's what really is bothersome. I'm down there once a month. I'm going to be there again tomorrow or Saturday, 40 miles from the border at El Paso. I know what I see at Laredo. I know what I see at the other border towns that all the mucky mucks from D.C. went to. It is a joke what's going on because the federal government, since Biden came in, has already restricted what the sheriffs, what the Border Patrol agents, what the National Guard, what the local police can and cannot do to an illegal.
Well, let's look at what this is going to do in the next 8 or 10 months. In Chicago, Illinois, where Texas governor has been sending migrants to Chicago, and many of the citizens of Chicago are upset because the migrants are getting the money that would normally go to their welfare programs, food stamps. One of the big ones was the, what was it, Snowman, the SNAP card, the food stamps. They were like triple what they were, and then because of the pandemic, right? People were getting $200 and it was cut to like $58 on their food stamps, right?
Yep.
This is going to affect Democratic voters, the migrants situations and the open borders. Why does Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris and everybody else, who benefits from a wide open border? I'm asking.
They do, because nobody's going to bite the hand that feeds them. I got to interject something in here. I don't know if you know this or not, because you were on vacation. My health insurance terminated me. I won't say the company name, but it was called a 364-day policy, and they spent upwards of $450, almost $500,000 for the year 2023 battling my cancer. And when it came renewal time this year, they said, nope, we're done, and here's what you can do to fight us. So I contacted every private health insurance company. You think they're going to touch me since I've got cancer, a tumor on my pancreas and my liver? No. What are my options? ACA. That's a joke. The Affordable Care Act is a joke. So they just said, Snowman, die. So for the past 3 weeks, I've been doing nothing but self-medicating. I still get medication prescriptions from my oncologist because she's beside herself. But I got to find an insurance company that is going to go along with the hospital that I've already been dealing with the year, with all the PET scans and the CAT scans and ultrasounds. I mean, there are so many things that are on record. That, to me, when you got people crossing the border getting free medical that can't speak a lick of English, and here I am working all my life, and they said, that's enough. And then other private insurance companies said, nah, you got cancer, just die. And the only option I have, and if you've ever checked into the ACA, when you do, you get inundated with phone calls and this and emails and, oh, no, we don't do anything with that hospital. No, you'll have to go to this. You'll have to, this is what it's going to cost you. This is what they're going to pay. Unbelievable.
So are this, back on message, because I'm getting busy. In the state of Ohio, in the state of Texas, in your example, the militia, do they get paid? They get a paycheck from the state of Texas, not the federal government. They're not U.S. military. Is that true or not?
In Ohio, the militia is not paid for anything.
Well, I'm asking to stay on Texas because
I don't know.
Okay, that's why I'm asking. We have to have people that know in our audience. I'm just trying to figure out. This is a constitutional crisis between. Look. Let's look at 18 months ago. Roe versus Wade. Abortion's not in the Constitution. That's why it was unconstitutional. So said the Supreme Court coming on 2 years this June. What it did say is it's a state right. We know that all the rights go to the state, and then the states give authority to the federal government through there's only 18 major things. We talked about it yesterday.
Yes.
So who is in charge of, I mean, if I'm trying to think, it was Alabama where they called up, right? Remember that? And when they wanted segregated the schools and all that stuff, right? And that was that Bobby Kennedy taking on Wallace? And then, of course, May 4th, we know what happened there. But then in Katrina is a more postmodern issue. But I'm telling you, we've had, how many people have I've had to hold them off with a chair like a lion tamer we're leading to a revolution in America.
I don't believe there's going to be a revolution in America because you had said it earlier. If a militia guy lives across the street from a National Guard guy who is actually an employee of the state, not the federal government, are they going to shoot at each other? No. You take an illegal that has said, hey, we're going to give you citizenship if you join us.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and then you got somebody that goes, well, they just let me in here free to give me $2,000 or $5,000.
They gave me a green card. Yeah, the city of Akron wants police. Last summer they were promoting it. If you are here legally, if you're legally in Akron, Ohio, we'll let you with a green card. You can become a police officer.
Yeah, and in New York City, you can vote.
Same thing on local issues. There are College Park, Maryland. I know for sure. If you're here legally in a green card, say you're a college professor, and you can vote on your property levy, you can vote for mayor, you can vote for city council. And the question there is, how do you segregate the ballot? How do you stop somebody that is not a U.S. citizen from voting on the president or a Congress member when they're on the same ballot as the school board, right?
To all the callers that call in that promote Joe Biden, the DOT, Department of Transportation, when they do inspections on commercial vehicles, they are not allowed to ask questions if they don't have an interpreter for the person, no matter where they're from, Ukraine, Russia, or wherever. They can't do it. They could under Trump, changed under Biden. So that one clown that called in yesterday, because you're a clown, promoting everything and saying bad things about Donald Trump, he says this and he tweets that. You're a dummy. You're dumb. You're stupid. You don't know anything that's going on in the real world. So these are the things I face. These are the things that we face out here on a regular basis. It's frustrating and it angers me to no end.
Well, there's a reason every bumper sticker in Texas says, don't mess with Texas, right? And you're heading out to El Paso, huh?
I'll be 40 miles north up there in New Mexico.
Well, Godspeed and hang in there. Keep fighting a good fight, man, okay? I mean,
thanks, guys.
Hang in there. Take care. Oh, WNIR, hello.
Well, good afternoon.
Hey, Snowman, what's cooking?
You know, the one guy that called in and said they closed all the rest there is full of crap.
That's what I thought. I'm like, give me an example. What's he talking about?
On 77 south of Canton, they used to have two scales. What they have done is close scales down. They turned the northbound one into a truck parking only. So they've done a lot. Ohio is very, very truck friendly as far as parking on wide shoulders. There's a place on 30 we all call Sleepy Hill. And because you could just pull your truck over. They actually paved it, the shoulder, just because they know a lot of trucks parked there.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio's friendly when it comes to that. Their DOT isn't friendly because they'll pull you over anywhere, put you on the shoulder, and do an inspection.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would have kept the scales open and they could do them all in there. It's safer for everybody. But there's only
why did they close? Why did they close the scales? I never understood that.
I never did either. I think because financial, having to pay a scale master who generally is not a state trooper, can give a ticket but can't arrest, things like that. But it had to be a revenue thing,
right,
of what it cost.
Mm-hmm.
So they did limit the amount of scale houses, but that actually put more DOT out onto, and PUCO, which still boggles my mind because PUCO,
that's a weird thing. Do they have they still, I know my cousin Jeff up there, when he was out of school years ago, he dated and married a dairy farm girl from by Castalia. The Blue Hole is still there, but I think the guy that owned the Castalia Blue Hole tourist attraction, I think he passed away, but not too far there from Castalia. And he would have to run, every 12 hours and go and get the milk, right? And they would always bust him with those local mobile scales, right?
Ohio?
Yeah. I don't know who was in charge of it. And he said, but they kept fining him and not the company, you know. He's like, the hell with that. I'm not paying the fine, you know.
You know, what's kind of funny is Ohio is real heavy duty on going after coal buckets because they're generally heavy, especially the guys hauling steel scrap. And they authorized minimum of 2 county sheriffs to be able to do level 1 through 3 DOT inspections, along with, I mean, when you see the sheriff's pickup truck out there or van, you know, they got the portables. But that's who they target, especially around fall time when it's grain season, because they load them to the gill to get paid by the hundredweight.
Right.
So it is what it is. But for the most part, I'll say Ohio is very truck friendly compared to, let's say, Arkansas. You know, there's a lot of ramps that you could park on in Arkansas, but they got so many damn, you know, no parking signs up right where you would park. They don't want you parking on the shoulders like that. I don't know if they had problems or, you know, maybe Bill Clinton got mad because women were going there. I don't know. But the governor
did not have sex with that woman in that semi truck.
You do sound like you. But as far as these companies that are governing their trucks, that is just a danger. When the speed limit is 70 and 75 out west, and a truck is governed back to 65, it just causes problems when you get around any major city where you have a lot of exit and on-ramps for small towns. I don't go to Canada, Ontario, because they can actually plug into your ECM and cut it back to 65. There ain't nobody touching my ECM. Right. My ECM's aftermarket.
Okay, right.
It's set up to get the best fuel mileage and the best speed I can get. It triple-digit truck. I don't run it at that. I don't go over 75 because that's what my damn tires are rated at.
Exactly.
So last thing I want to do is blow out a $500.
The larger question is, Snowman, why in the heck? What's happened in the last decade or so that all of a sudden the land of the free is now the land of the controlled? They want to. You got to have a battery operated car that can only go 200 miles. And then you know what I mean?
Right.
And they want to control everybody. And now they want to, sometimes you got to get out and run. If it's 70 mile an hour, okay. When we were coming up from Florida, I'm coming up 75. And I said, I had to get out there and to draft at 88 miles an hour, just to stay up with the traffic. Slower traffic does two things. It's the number one cause of road rage. So said AAA. We had that last at the end of the year, remember?
Oh, yeah.
People get bent out of shape. And, like you said, you got people traveling along. This posted 70, and they're averaging 77. Everything's going fine, and all of a sudden, you come up to some slow vehicle, and the whole thing gets gummed up, Well,
I tell you what. A friend of mine, 20 years ago, said two things to me. He said, the day, and he curled his hands up, that they're getting tired of us with dirty fingernails coming into the same restaurant as people that are CEOs. They don't want that because they're a class ahead in their mind. And he was right. And the other thing he said is, I'll never forget the way he worded it, this world is going to turn into hooray for me and F you.
Yeah.
And that is, each year it gets worse because you're right. Traffic's moving along great at 70 mile an hour at a posted 65. And you always have that one idiot that's 55 or that other idiot that's doing 90.
Yep.
It makes no sense. I mean, nobody looks ahead. I shouldn't say that. A lot of people don't look ahead to see the ramps, who's merging, who's doing this, who's doing that, because of them being on their cell phone. That's why I'm all for making that a tier 1 where they can pull you over. I mean, I got a cell phone. I'm in my truck. I have a headset.
Right.
I bought the whole headset thing back in 12 when it was mandated. Now I use it for everything. I can cook. I can work on my Harleys. I can do anything. I don't ever hold my phone up. I love this thing. I really do. I got multiple ones.
I went, Jillian, Dad, you need to come into the 21st century. So for Christmas, she got me those earbuds. I've been watching people for years. I would see them on TV interviewing on Skype, and they'd have the white, I thought they were Apple, and I don't have Apple. The little hoopties that go in their ear.
Yeah.
And I got them, and to this day, I can't open that clamshell. I don't know how to open the little charger thing, but that's a whole other thing. So at the swimming meets, the echoing, you know what it's like, the whistles, and man, it can make your ears echo and ring. And so putting those in would damper that. But I took them out, and like an idiot, because I didn't think to take a alcohol swab and wipe off the things when I jammed in my ear. Next thing you know, a week later, I'm off work for a week, so I got an ear infection. I'm on a penicillin. I don't know if that's what caused it, but when you go through and look at your life and what have I done differently in the last month that I haven't done in the last 12 months? It was the only variable introduced, right? And so I don't know. I'm laying it at that. But I do like the, they're what I don't know what you call them, earbuds or whatever, But
mine goes over the ear, and the microphone comes clear down in front of my mouth. Oh well,
yeah, one of those things, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then people when I first got it, they said, "Well, everybody can see that," and I said, "Well, would you like fries with that?" I could care less, but I don't like sticking anything in my ears at all.
Exactly.
For that reason, what you just said. So I'm talking on it right now. Sitting down here in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Got to leave in the morning. Ain't delivering until Monday out in New Mexico. And but hell, I got it on right now, and I'm sitting here drinking Black Rifle coffee, talking to John.
The military-based Black Rifle coffee, right? Remember what Trump said a couple months ago about.
But I will tell you, they want to take your car industry away. They're going to take it away. They're going to do the electric vehicle nonsense. You drive. You put a little circle around your house. You can't go outside the circle. You'll never come back. You can drive it. The first 10 minutes is one of the greatest feelings on earth. The next hour, you're in trauma, thinking about where the hell are you going to have the car charged. Oh, you had that.
Oh, he's great, man.
He just gets right to it. You know what I mean?
He does.
Did you hear Biden? I didn't even play it. Joe Biden somewhere. Did you hear him mumbling about the middle class or whatever? Jesse was playing it last night, and then Gutfeld played it later. And I mean, just compare Donald Trump live, without a net, and Joe Biden trying to read a teleprompter. And it's just, it's going to be a bumpy next 10 or 12 months or 10 months or so, But on this day, 1935, Snowman, around Alliance, Ohio, probably your neck of the woods. No, in 1935, the first can of beer was sold. 2 hours later, the first crush can on somebody's forehead, like Belushi did. Can you believe it's been that long? A can of beer was, and then why do they call it that little church key opener with the little one end of it's pointed and the others for pop bottles? It's called the church key. Do you remember why they called it that?
I don't know why they called it that, but I was the guy that would open beer bottles with the back of my teeth.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
The back of your teeth?
Yeah, you stick it in the corner of your mouth, back on your molar.
Oh, no. Oh, man, no. I didn't mess with my teeth. My old man said, we gave up a week's vacation to get you that dental plan for those braces. You better not have your teeth chipped, or you better take care of your teeth. I gave up a week's vacation for that. It's a steel mill. 46 years ago today, the deadly blizzard of 78 piled snowdrifts 10 feet high, Snowman, led to 51 deaths. Huh?
I know exactly where I was when that happened. Heritage Hall at Baldwin Wallace.
Really?
Yep. When that snowstorm hit, we were up there at Heritage Hall, ATOs, looking out, going, I ain't going out there.
Yeah.
There ain't no reason for me to go out there. We could still burn wood at our corner of Heritage Hall because we didn't have an actual house. So they had 4 corners, and all the frats, 4 of the frats were right there. In fact, when they were organizing Greg Pruitt come down, when they were organizing a black-only fraternity. And that's when I met the guy. And pound for pound, one of the strongest men I've ever
Greg
met.
Pruitt, unbelievable. The Akron-Canton Airport recorded peak gusts of 76 miles an hour. Basically, it was a hurricane, low pressure that came in from the south. It was the lowest pressure. My dad's got it, speaking of dad, on the back of the barometer. He wrote on it that it was like... but it was basically a hurricane, 76 miles an hour at 5:12 p.m. at Akron-Canton Airport. Remember all the airplanes, the small Cessnas down at Harry Cleverfield in New Philly? I remember. We drove past a couple of days later. They didn't have them strapped down, and these things just blew all over. John Glenn at Port Columbus Airport at the time, record peaks is 69 miles an hour. And I was at 314 West Schaefer Avenue in Dover, Ohio, and I shoveled out. I remember Kenny next door. He was Racy Call, diesel mechanic, and he had the truck at the house there that had the little crane in the back. He's the guy that you would call back in the day, remember?
Oh, yeah.
So, and the semis needed him, so we made sure we had him shoveled out. And of course, the driveway dad still had to go over to the mill. And then they did shut the mill down because we were running out of natural gas. Remember?
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you.
It was bad, man.
We piled 8 of us, me and 7 others. I had a 55 panel wagon. Mm-hmm. And we with 3 speed on the column, 3 speed on the tree. It actually had a foot starter. Turned the key on, you had to hit, and we just drove around up by Hopkins and went up to Burke Lakefront because that thing can plow through anything. Mm-hmm. In fact, we took that on a trip. I talked the boys for spring break. 1, 2, 3, 5 of my frat brothers. Everybody used to go to Fort Lauderdale. I said, let's go to California.
Oh, my gosh.
We made it as far as Tucson and ran out of money.
No, what's that? That's never been to Spain. I headed out to Las Vegas, only made it to Needles or what, right?
we went to Tucson, and everybody called home to get money wired.
Yeah, we've all been there at one point or another. But
my old man, when he answered the phone, and I told him, I said, this is what we're doing. The only thing he did was laugh and hang up.
Yeah, exactly. You're on your own, son. Welcome to,
Pretty much.
That's it, yeah. All right, so it's good to hear from you. Be careful, okay?
Thanks.
We'll see you. All right, we'll be right back. Well, the gentleman that called a few moments ago, I put him on hold, and I've had multiple people text me or what have you, and apparently Facebook. And Mark Richards just sent me a text here in the last 20 minutes and said that reportedly a trucker guy who has told us on the air multiple times he had been fighting cancer has shuffled off this mortal coil. Mark Richards sent me the post he put on his Facebook page. And it said, Mark sent this to me. I'm reading his text. John, I just learned a trucker guy passed away, and here's what I put on his Facebook page. Please extend my condolences to all who knew. And, argue with David. He pancreatic cancer had taken the life of my dear friend. You knew him on the radio. Many knew him as Trucker Guy. Here was the problem. I had too many trucker guys, and people were getting them Davenport. So I started calling him Snowman, like Cletus Snow, Jerry Reed, and Snowman. But so we've had multiple reports there. So I'm going to try to reach out to his son, and I'm sure that we'll get some. But those are the reports, and I trust Mark Richards extraordinaire. But rest in peace, Snowman. It's 3 o'clock. Bob Golick's next on the Talk of Akron, WNIR.